All right, so this is another game between Lu Miaoyi, and this time she's playing this Grandmaster, Meilis Annaberdiev. He is from Turkmenistan, which I need to work on my geography. Young, go ahead.
I I think Lu Miaoyi's rating become low.
Oh, so her rating is fairly low here, but this was December. This was during Christmas break of last year. So Lu Miaoyi was actually 11 years old here still. She's 11 during the game that she played against this gentleman here. So at the Ask 5 GM Ask 521, that was played in Serbia back in December of last year. So almost a year ago. But yeah, she was still 11 at the time. So her rating has not become low. Her rating has become high. It's now her FIDE rating as of today, although she's not rated as a FIDE master for whatever reason, is 2399. She's now rated at 2399. So she's been going up big time. This Grandmaster, so he was born in 1985. So he's what, 37 or 36 probably when he played this game. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the game. So knight to f3 is the ready. Lu Miaoyi responds with knight to f6, pawn to c4 by the Grandmaster, and this becomes kind of like an English opening now, almost like Lu Miaoyi was going to play the King's Indian, but then with this pawn to e6 move, this becomes the Agincourt defense. Knight to c3 here, and Lu Miaoyi attacks the center with d5 now. And these are all book moves so far. They've been played thousands of times. E3 now by White, and we have C5 by Lu Miaoyi. Now this game actually transposes now. I say transposes, so it like started out as a different kind of opening, but now it's essentially a Queen's Gambit declined. It looks kind of, I mean, you could get to the same position by playing the Queen's Gambit declined, and it would be the Tarrasch defense in that case, with two knights variation. And now Lu Miaoyi develops her knight to c6 here. C captures on d5, E captures on d5, bishop to b5 by the Grandmaster. And again, these are all book moves still, but at this point, they've only been played like 358 games in chess.com's database that have come to this position, so it's getting to be a little bit more of a rare opening. Yeah, I don't know if these players have memorized all these moves. We're only 7 moves in, so it could be that Lu Miaoyi used this as some sort of setup to try to trick the Grandmaster. This is somewhat of a rare opening, although once it transposed back into Queen's Gambit declined, maybe not so rare. Lu Miaoyi plays bishop to d6 now. Definitely a strong move, although maybe capturing the pawn here might have been a little bit better, a chance for more center control, but it seems scary because, of course, knight captures back could be an issue, putting additional pressure on c6 here. So Lu Miaoyi, again, she plays bishop to d6, and now the Grandmaster captures the c-pawn, and that's the best move for him to play in the position, attacking. So, of course, she's got to do something. She goes ahead and captures the pawn. That's the best move for her. And now the Grandmaster does castle. Lu Miaoyi castles, and those were the best moves that could be played in the position. b3 by the Grandmaster, and Lu Miaoyi responds with bishop to g4. You know, the engine says this wasn't the best move. It calls it an inaccuracy. It says pawn here is best. As it turns out, we basically have the same exact position. I analyzed the position. It becomes the same thing anyway. Let's hear from Nicole. Go ahead, Nicole.
Does Lu Miaoyi actually count as a grandmaster?
She is not a grandmaster yet. She will be, I think, very soon.
Why?
Well, so first of all, you have to achieve an active rating, a live rating of over 2,500. So you see White is over 2,500 currently. You don't have to necessarily stay with your rating above 2,500. Once you're Grandmaster, you're always a Grandmaster. So if you ever get your rating over 2,500, but you also have to have 3 Grandmaster norms. So you have to go and play in tournaments where there are Grandmasters, and you have to get like high placing, but you have to perform very well in international tournaments where there are Grandmasters in those tournaments. So if you get over 2,500 and you get your 3 Grandmaster norms, which is basically playing in 3 advanced tournaments, then you become a Grandmaster. And once you're Grandmaster, it doesn't matter if you've lost your mind. you're still considered a grandmaster, and you always are respected as a grandmaster. Anyway, good question. Lu Miaoyi, not yet a grandmaster. I want her to play a tournament like right now. I don't know. I haven't seen any info about her playing in tournaments recently. Maybe she's going to be playing in one soon. I hope so. She needs to face some more high-level opponents. I would love to see her play some of the, top players in the world. And, if she could get a match against a solid grandmaster like Yohi Fan or something like that, Haohi Li Fan, anyway, the top-rated woman in the world, or maybe the women's world champion, or even some of the top grandmasters of men, if she could play a match, like a dozen games against somebody like that, I think she would become a grandmaster just from that. So we had bishop to g4 was our last move here. Bishop back to e2. The engine suggesting maybe just go ahead and playing bishop to B2 would have been a better move for the Grandmaster, but he was probably worried about some sort of trades or something where you end up getting two pieces on this knight and, maybe messing up his castle or something like that. He prevents that by just moving his bishop here. And I wonder if Lu Miaoyi is still trying to play some sort of memorized line, because now we see the pawn to a6 move, and this actually was suggested by the engine as being the best move previously, and you would end up with this exact position if she had played that earlier. And I'm wondering if she's trying to get back into a line that she has memorized, because we are 11 moves in though. Now we have bishop comes to b2. Lu Miaoyi brings her bishop back to a7. Seems like a bit of an odd move to me. The computer does call it an inaccuracy, but it's not that big of, the difference is like 0.3. It's very little difference. Queen to d6 is suggested by the engine as the best move. Grandmaster plays knight to d4. And Lu Miaoyi goes ahead and captures that knight with the bishop. So bishop captures on d4. So yeah, repositioned her bishop and then captures. So kind of wasting moves. But I guess at this point it's not really a problem because you have all your pieces developed. So if you're moving pieces around, they're dancing around a bit, it's not as big of a deal because everything is developed. This is actually the best move in the position. We have bishop captures on g4, of course, the best move in the position, as there were two attackers and only one defender. And now Lu Miaoyi decides to save her bishop with bishop back to e5. The Grandmaster could have captured, but the pawn structure would be lame then. You'd have this isolated pawn sitting here on d4. That would not be good for the Grandmaster. So that's, again, why he decides to capture there. So we trade bishops in that way. And now the Grandmaster brings his bishop back to f3, pawn to d4 now. There were three attackers on that pawn there, right? So the queen and the knight and the bishop were all attacking, only two defenders, so she elects just to go ahead and push the pawn here. And now we have pawn captures on d4 by the Grandmaster, and knight captures d4 by black. And now bishop captures on b7 by the Grandmaster. And this is the best move in the position, and Lu Miaoyi plays the best response. Rook to a7 now. Pawn to f4 by the Grandmaster. And this is the best move in the position. Lu Miaoyi brings her bishop all the way back to b8, which strikes me as a bit odd. Definitely wanted to bring the bishop back, but it would have probably been better to bring the bishop back to c7, just leaving yourself some other options where you only have this line that your bishop is going to be focused on here. So a bit of a weaker move than bishop to c7. We have knight to e4 by the Grandmaster. Lu Miaoyi accepts the trade. Knight captures on e4. We have bishop captures on e4. And now we have rook to d7 here, giving a second defender to the knight as he is under attack twice. So the knight is a semi-loose piece. The Grandmaster plays queen to h5 here, threatening checkmate right off the bat. So pretty scary. Unfortunately, the only move for Lu Miaoyi that saves the position at all is pawn to g6. I say it, this is just, I would be so nervous playing that move because you've got this bishop possibly facing off there. Your bishop is way out of the game as far as trying to defend those dark squares. Oh, that move would make me very nervous. We have the best move by the Grandmaster. He plays queen to h6 now. And Lu Miaoyi does play the best move in the position. She plays rook to e8. attacking that light squared bishop. So of course the Grandmaster's got to do something like that about that. He plays bishop to d6. That is the best move, perhaps eyeing this pawn if nothing else. And Lu Miaoyi actually does blunder on this next move. She plays this rook lift here. She should have played bishop to d6 to get herself set to defend her king. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that line here. She should have played bishop to d6. Best move for the Grandmaster would be pawn to f5. And now we would have bishop comes back to f8. Just kind of, yeah, getting that bishop back where he belongs. If you're going to push your g-pawn, you better have a dark squared bishop, especially if your opponent has a dark squared bishop. So yeah, this would have been much better. Queen comes back to h3, and then knight to e2 check. And they would basically be forced to capture to save the position. So bishop captures on e6, and of course rook captures e6, and now you're pressuring the bishop. You know, you've got your dark square bishop that can come back here, help defend your king. Yeah, this would have been a better situation than the one that we end up with Lu Miaoyi playing the move that she plays, and we'll get back to that real quick here. Yeah, so Lu Miaoyi plays this move here. And yeah, you can kind of see, well, it's not too bad. The computer says she's losing by about 1.5 points. Not the end of the world. She can maybe get back into the game here. Bishop captures on d6, which the computer actually says this is a missed win. So I know we just went into analysis on the last move. Basically a blunder. This was not the best move. So we're going to go ahead and do analysis of this line as well. So he didn't capture. He should have played rook to d1 here. Should have queen to e7 would be the best move for black. Pawn to f5 now. Bishop comes to f4. And then we would have pawn to f6 attacking the queen. So both queens are hanging here. Black should go ahead and capture the queen. The Grandmaster would have been able to capture on e7. And we have rook captures e7. And bishop captures on a6. And clearly this is a better position for white than the one that happens on the board. We've got connected pass pawns over here. That's not good. That would be a pretty dominant position. He's up a point, but he's got those connected pass pawns. This would be a disaster for Lu Miaoyi. Luckily for her, that is not what the Grandmaster played. So yeah, he captures here on d4. And now Lu Miaoyi, of course, captures the bishop. Now he's got to do something. He's got 3 attackers on that bishop. So he goes ahead and moves the bishop to the best possible square. Bishop to c4. Rook to e4 by Lu Miaoyi. And now the Grandmaster actually finds the absolute best move in the position. It's a tough move to actually see as being the best move, but he plays bishop captures f7, the bishop sacrifice. We of course have king captures the bishop, queen captures h8 here. Lu Miaoyi moves her king to e8. She moves her king to e8. This was actually a blunder. She could have possibly defended herself better than that, but king to f6 here. The best move for white would be pawn to f5, and then we would have rook to g4 by black, and pawn captures on g6, check by white, and king to g5, pawn to g7, and then rook captures on g2, king captures on g2, queen to d5, king to f2 by white. Yeah, there's good chances of drawing this game. This is pretty much a drawish position. So yeah, Lu Miaoyi did blunder by playing king to e8. That was not what she should have done in that position. But we will go ahead and go back to the actual game that happened. The Grandmaster goes ahead and captures the pawn with check. Now Lu Miaoyi moves her king to d7. And now we have rook to c1 by the Grandmaster, and Lu Miaoyi plays bishop, the best move in the position. She plays bishop to a7, setting up a discovered check. So yeah, if the Grandmaster doesn't do something about this, then Lu Miaoyi wins the game for sure. The Grandmaster goes ahead and moves his king out of that mess. That is the strongest move possible in the position. And now Lu Miaoyi does attack the queen with rook to e6. We have queen to g4 by white, and now king to d6 by Lu Miaoyi, which you can see this is a big mistake. She should not have done that. If she would have played queen to f6, things could have went better. King to d6. Lu Miaoyi should have played king to f6 or queen to f6 here. White would play pawn to g3 would be the best move for them, and then actually white should move the queen back to d8 here. We would have rook to c2, and then Lu Miaoyi could move her queen over to a8 with check, queen to f6 by white, queen captures f6, and then rook captures queen, or excuse me, f3 that was, and then we could line up the rooks with rook A or rook e to d6, pawn to h4 here by white, and this would have been a better way to go, although still certainly challenging. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into the other variation. Okay, so we have pawn to a3 by the Grandmaster, so that's not the strongest move. He should have actually played queen to g7 here. That would have been a better move. Now we have queen to e8 by Lu Miaoyi, and both players making mistakes here. We have queen to f3 now. You can actually see that the computer doesn't like the moves by seeing that evaluation bar moving. You know, white was doing better, but now not such a good lead. Again, the computer suggesting just getting down here and just cutting off avenues for escape. Like, you know, you got the rook's help down here, so there's some nasty things that could happen. But again, that's not what happened in the game. Lu Miaoyi then lifts her rook. She plays rook e to e4. Oh, and the Grandmaster pushes his pawn to f5. Lu Miaoyi repositions her bishop to b6. And now we have pawn to f6 by the Grandmaster. Lu Miaoyi blocks the pawn now with queen to f7. And now we have queen to g3 by the Grandmaster, checking the king. He moves her king to d5 now. The Grandmaster then finally does bring his queen down to g7. And Lu Miaoyi moves her queen to h5 now. And now queen to b7 by the Grandmaster, checking the king. And Lu Miaoyi, of course, moves her king to e5. Yeah, and now the bishop falls. So, of course, he captures the bishop, so a fork. And now Lu Miaoyi moves her rook to h4. And we have rook to c5 here now, skewering the king and queen. And Lu Miaoyi blocks with rook to d5, the only move that really makes any sense, although it doesn't really work out anyway because there's still a skewer that can be had. And yeah, Lu Miaoyi actually resigns the game here. As well, actually, she's gonna lose her queen. She still has a rook, but it's just this pawn here is just about to advance, and it's gonna be really hard for that rook to do anything about it. Plus, yeah, just all these other pawns that it has to be dealt with. Basically an impossible position. The computer is saying that white is up by 13 points, and yeah, that's that queen coming into being. There's no way to stop it. So yeah, Lu Miaoyi does resign this game, and she loses to this, strong Grandmaster. Everybody, I mean, he's playing the white pieces. She's trying to defend with black. You can't win every game, I'm sure she's gone back and studied this game and probably learned some lessons from it. But yeah, thank you for checking that out with me. Do check out my YouTube channel, Chess for Anyone. Like and subscribe. I will be posting game reviews, tactics on that, so you can get some extra chess in. But all right, thank you.